going on, you bunch of heathens? Today we are back with another Wendigoon video, or Wendigang. Technically it's his second channel, but same difference. It's the same glorious man. This one is called the Sinatra Karaoke Killings, which sounds really interesting and really caught my eye when I saw it. So here we are. Before we jump into it, make sure you guys go and check out the original video. Give it a like. Give Wendy all the love. And yeah, let's jump in.
Since before 2000, there's been a dark, violent phenomenon happening in the Philippines regarding karaoke and Frank Sinatra's most popular song, My Way. Since that time, there have been at least 7 violent attacks against Filipinos singing or about to sing the song. Some journalists estimate that number is closer to 12. Many of these attacks have resulted in death by either gunshot or stab wound.
The fuck is going on over there in the Philippines? The fuck y'all doing? I think some of my demographics from there, but still, like, what the fuck is going on over there?
There are no other such records of a song causing so much individual violence anywhere. Another layer on top of that is the fact that the song is about a man nearing the end of his life. No one can really comprehend why this is happening with this specific
Are they singing
song.
it bad?
There are theories, which we're going to dive into a bit, but perhaps it's also a good time, without being too preachy, to draw a tiny bit of attention to the hardships the Filipino citizens have endured, especially in the recent past. Imagine this. You're in the Philippines, a country comprised of 7,000 islands in the Pacific. You just spent the day on a beautiful beach, had a few drinks, a comforting, tanky meal, and now you want to cap off the night by partaking in the unofficial Filipino national pastime, karaoke. You find
Isn't the Philippines going through quite a bit right now? Okay, so yeah, a week ago. So this is what I heard about it a week ago. There was a big, so either it's, it might still be going on, I'm not sure, but it isn't really being talked about right now. But they had a huge protest over state corruption, which is what I remember hearing about.
the spot just around the corner. It's a bit seedy, but drinks are cheap and they're flowing. Tourists and Filipinos alike are singing to their heart's content.
Hell yeah, sounds like a great fucking time.
Dua Lipa or Whitney Houston. Definitely some Bruno Mars, who himself is half Filipino. Then,
is he? I didn't know that.
A man takes the stage, grabbing the mic. You hear the first few bars of a familiar song, a gentle bass line followed by a harpsichord that takes us to its classic crooning opening line. And now the end. No, just kidding. I'm not.
Oh, come on.
About to be a sing-along.
Do it.
And now the end is near. The song is Frank Sinatra's classic power ballad, My Way. A song
you should have done it, Wendy.
His last. The song is warm and conversational.
Oh, it was supposed to be his last? I didn't know that.
Thanks to its gentle nature. But instead, the room tenses up. They fear what might be coming next. An older man in the audience starts heckling the singer for being off key, but the young man doesn't stop. He keeps singing because, after all, you can't let the terrorist win. The heckler, who's had a few too many drinks, becomes belligerent.
Oh no.
The heckles turn into a demand. Stop singing now. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the competition show The Voice.
Not really The Voice, more so X Factor. But I mean, to be fair, tensing up everyone, if this has been a thing for this long and like it's been an issue, I can see why people get kind of, oh no, like tense up about it.
But one of the judges used to be Jennifer Hudson, a fairly famous, very talented singer. Whenever she heard an incredible performance by a contestant, she would take off her shoe and throw it at them. Well, the Philippines have a version of that.
Why?
Except it's the complete opposite. And it involves just one song. And if you sing it badly, instead of getting a celebratory shoe thrown at you, someone shoots you with a gun, like a firearm. So yeah, not really the same thing at all, other than someone, you know, performing an action on someone else who's singing.
Okay, so not the same whatsoever, huh?
Man. Unfazed by threats, he keeps singing. I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all and I stood tall. Bam! The belligerent heckler, off-duty security officer, pulls out his pistol, firing a single bullet into the young man's chest. He dies almost instantly. This series of events really happened, and it happened in May.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, doesn't surprise me that it really happened. That was very oddly specific.
2007. It's shocking and sad. And at least
it is
for
sad.
anyone looking for justice, there did happen to be another off-duty officer in the bar who disarmed and arrested the shooter immediately. But here's the strange thing.
Yeah, why did he do it though?
This was not the first time someone in the Philippines had been killed over a karaoke rendition of Frank Sinatra's American classic. And tragically, it wouldn't be the last. Some call this a pattern, others are labeling it a phenomenon. Whatever you want to call it, it's the topic of today's video. Hello everybody. Today we're talking about the Frank Sinatra karaoke killers. This is a story that is exactly as strange as it sounds, and also a phenomenon that I'm sure most of you have never heard of before. So we're going to talk about some of the cases and ask the question as to why this is happening in the first place. Without further ado, we are going to go ahead and get into it, but as always, thank you for watching. Now, there have been countless karaoke rage incidents since the invention of karaoke, most of which have involved alcohol and violent crime. There was a man who was attacked in Seattle for singing Coldplay's song Yellow, which that one's fair. Or the man in Malaysia who hogged the—
Sorry, that was a straight gut instinct to hear, to just say that to you, Wendy. I'm sorry. You don't deserve that. But still, how dare you? Yellow is a great song.
Karaoke mic so much that the patrons banded together and stabbed him to death. In Thailand, there was a killing spree after a man got so angry at someone who refused to stop singing John Denver's Take Me Home Country Roads on repeat that he shot and killed 8 people.
What
None
the
of
fuck?
Those are funny because people actually lost their lives, and that's a tragedy. However, unrelated to those tragedies and the tragic loss of life, the opening of Take Me Home Country Roads is objectively a funny song intro to be really mad at. A headline in the Telegraph detailing another incident read, quote, Chinese toddler's karaoke tantrum ends in bloodbath, which that's not a joke. 2 of the kids' uncles got mad at the kid's father after the 4-year-old wouldn't stop singing. When the uncles turned aggressive, another man ran to the kitchen and returned with a meat cleaver and hacked the uncles to death. And then
what the fuck? This is really not selling me on doing karaoke. Like, what the fuck? I know it's fairly big to go and do in Asia. Like, not even just Southeast Asia. Like, I know Japan and Korea are both really into it. This is really not selling me on going and doing that. I'm a bad singer, so you're telling me if I sing bad enough, they're gonna fucking kill me over it? Fuck no.
Of course, you've got actor Ezra Miller, who was arrested for disorderly conduct in Hawaii for harassing people who were singing karaoke at a karaoke bar. In the Philippines, though, such incidents have frequently shared one common denominator.
He's a shitbag,
Ironically, My Way, a song that postures itself as a proud farewell to life, does something to incite deathly violence in Filipino people. I mean, as opposed to other ethnicities or regions of people. I don't think all Filipinos react to the song My Way like it's some kind of CIA sleeper activation code. I don't think, at least. How would I know? It's gotten so...
With how much... The fact you're making a fucking video on it and all this shit, it's starting to seem like it might be.
So bad that karaoke bars and songbook manufacturers have pulled the once beloved karaoke staple from their machines and off their pages. While
might be a fucking activation phrase.
Patrons from singing the song as a means to prevent even more potential violent crime. While these incidents had been known within the Philippines for some time, it wasn't until the 2007 shooting of the young man I mentioned in the intro that worldwide attention began to be shed on this dark cultural phenomenon. The young man's name was Rami Baligola. He was unemployed at the time and karaokeing at the Julieville KTV bar in San Mateo, where Robbie Lito Ortega was working as the bar security guard.
God, it looks like a vibe
that Ortega was dancing at the beginning of the song, but then started yelling at Baligola that he was out of tune. Around the halfway point of the song, after hearing too much of Baligola's off-key rendition, Ortega pulled his .38 caliber pistol and shot him fatally in the chest. At the time of 2007, it was the most widely reported case. So people started digging into the story a little bit more. In doing so, they found a similar event from 7 years prior.
Sorry, I do not understand the kind of what possesses you, even if they are doing it off key, what possesses you to fucking shoot someone? Like you were vibing in the beginning and then decide, nah, bro, you're off key. I'm going to shoot you. Like what?
In October of 2000. In a suburb of the capital city of Manila at King's Videoke Bar. Just after midnight, 46-year-old Hermihilda Callejo was singing his version of the song to an audience of 6 people. One of these 6 people either hated it or hated him, stood up, and stabbed Callejo multiple times. He was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival. An article in the Philippine Star about Callejo's death began with the words, quote, "Another man fell victim to the song My Way." But
so another man. So this has been going on.
Again, this was in 2000, and there are no homicide reports or articles available before this one that references My Way. But clearly, this was already a pattern.
Yeah, very clearly.
2001.
What the fuck?
Same newspaper wrote that 27-year-old Ronnie Aragon was shot dead by his, quote, "compadre in Manila for singing My Way off key." Witnesses say that each of the men had, quote, "at least 5 bottles of beer and had a heated argument over possession of the microphone when the song My Way was played." Apparently, the suspect tried to grab the mic to stop what he felt was a horrendous performance. Then
just
wanted to sing the song
let him
himself
vibe
in an effort to show the tone-deaf singer how it should be done. This led to a fight just outside the bar where Aragon was shot. The article ends by saying, quote, "There are no available statistics on how many have died over singing the old Frank Sinatra hit in a karaoke joint, considered to be the serial killer of such bars." In July of 2007, in the Caloocan City Videoke Bar in Manila, Hinero Francisco was left in critical condition after 2 men took issue with his off-key version of the song and shot him. In December of 2010, during a Christmas party,
so that's 4. This is 5 now.
Was singing the song when men on a motorcycle drove by and fired at him and his aide. The aide fortunately survived. The
That's lucky.
Did not. In
That's
August
sad.
of 2014, a few drinking buddies were out singing karaoke when one of them was about to sing the Sinatra classic. But when the song started, the other buddies wanted to sing it instead. This resulted in an argument which lasted until they returned to their friend's home, where one was stabbed in the arm. The other was stabbed to death. The most recent reported incident was at a birthday party in 2018 in Dipolog City. 61-year-old Jose Bashmian Jr. was about to sing My Way when his 28-year-old neighbor snatched the microphone away. It led to a fist fight between the 2 men. A few partygoers were able to pull them apart, but only briefly. The younger man stabbed Jose repeatedly and fatally before he was pulled off. A user on Reddit who goes by the name Ixnay.
What the fuck? Don't get me wrong. My Way is a great fucking song, but why? Just what? I don't get it.
101892 commented on a post about these killings saying, quote, "This is the best song I sing when doing karaoke, to the point where everyone claps, some cry. Now I want to go to the Philippines and perform."
That's such a Reddit thing to say. And then everyone clapped. That's such a Reddit thing, bro. That's so cringe. It's the best song I sing when doing karaoke, to the point where everyone claps, some cry. I want to go to the Philippines and perform to see if I survive. Like, that's such a Reddit. God, go touch some fucking grass, you loser.
To see if I survive. It's unclear if Ixnay is a victim of the My Way killings, but that post was written 9 years ago and he hasn't posted in 8. So, you know, we can only assume. So what's the reason behind the My Way killings, right? Is it the name of the song? Maybe My Way is some sort of trigger phrase embedded into people's minds by the CIA as a sort of assassin training program. I'm not letting the CIA angle go. I mean, they went to the Philippines and pretended to be vampires, right? Maybe Frank Sinatra helped them leave behind.
You say so, and that video is on a list for me to check out. And honestly, this isn't the worst thing I've heard the CIA maybe do.
Behind a few, like, sleeper agents or something. My point is, there's no way to know it wasn't them. Some of the more superstitious theories suggest the song could be cursed. Meanwhile, researchers think that the killings may be more about societal factors rather than supernatural or any conspiracy. Or as I like to call them, killjoys.
Yeah,
these could be copycat crimes, where headlines regarding the killings have inspired others to do the same. Alternatively, it could be the lyrics themselves, Perhaps someone finds the lyrics so pretentious and boastful that they just drive themselves to a homicidal rage. And who could blame them? Even Frank Sinatra eventually shared similar feelings about the record. Although fond of the song at the time he recorded it, even naming the album after it, Sinatra grew to despise it. He resented the fact that it became his #1 request at shows and concerts.
It's not the... I've heard multiple artists say that about like their highest rated song or whatever. I've heard multiple people say this, even though it's like their favorite, it's not one they like. Like Kurt Cobain famously hated "Smells Like Teen Spirit." Like I've heard it plenty of times. It's not that big a surprise.
According to his daughter Tina, Frank, quote, always thought that song was self-serving and self-indulgent. He didn't like it. With lyrics like, I bit off more than I could chew, but through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. Or, for what is a man, what has he got? If not himself, then he has not. I personally like the song, but I understand if it's not your thing.
Yeah,
and with lyrics
personally,
that go
I think
on
it's
for
a great
nearly 5
song.
minutes, I'm sure for people that don't enjoy the song, it feels way longer, which would be especially infuriating for anyone singing or watching someone sing karaoke. And
I was gonna say, especially if it's karaoke and they're not doing it well. But on multiple ones that we listen to, like usually starts out with either like the one dude in 2007 who was like, yeah, he was vibing it to at the beginning, but then it was bad. So he liked the song, obviously. And then a bunch of the other ones, it's like, no, I want to sing it. No, I want to sing it. Like that kind of thing.
According to various karaoke forums, the average appropriate length for a song is about 4 minutes. No one wants to hear you sing The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, even if it's a good song. Knowing this, it becomes easier to see why performance of the song could wind up feeling self-indulgent. I mean, it was cool when Sinatra did it, but just some random person at a karaoke bar singing about how they do things my way and how like they're the master of their life and it goes on for 5 minutes, it can get annoying. Butch Alderossen, the owner of Center for Pop, a singing school in Manila, supports this theory. Quote, the lyrics evoke feelings of pride and arrogance in the singer, as if you're somebody when you're really nobody. It covers up your failures. That's why it leads to fights. The Guardian agrees, calling the song
I don't think
quote, triumphalist anthem, as well as a, quote, cultural trigger. Triumphalist? That just means someone who wins, or like someone who...
That's such a pretentious word. Someone was trying to be fucking smarty pants and just come out sounding like a fucking twat.
Who likes winning? Okay, it's specifically someone who's annoying about it, who like boasts and talks about it too much. All right, that makes more sense. I have the reading comprehension of a 7th grader.
Not even, that's such a stupid fucking word.
But when your annoying neighbor or that one friend who you actually hate screams off key about how great they are for 5 minutes, maybe it doesn't set well. But it's also
but just ignore them.
The culture behind karaoke, especially in the Philippines. Local establishments may have different written rules, do's and do nots, but amongst all of these exist 4 key unwritten rules of karaoke that Filipinos take seriously. Rule 1, never laugh at someone performing, no matter how off-key he or she may be. Number 2, the microphone is sacred. Never grab it from someone else's hands.
Fucking awesome.
3, don't sing a song someone else already has. And 4, don't spend too much time on stage. Also, I would add a 5th rule, do not sign someone else up without them knowing. It's just not cool. The person gets really awkward and nobody has a good time except you. So
I agree with all those, even Wendy's.
Tell, Filipinos love karaoke. As Esquire Philippines describes it, quote, videoke, their way of saying karaoke, is more than entertainment in the Philippines. It's a social equalizer. Karaoke is embedded in the roots of the country's modern history. The first karaoke machine was built in 1971 by a Japanese musician named Daisuke Inoue. But Filipino inventor Roberto del Rosario actually holds the patent, developing the karaoke sing-along system in 1975.
Oh, why does he have the patent?
It became the focal point of every local gathering, pig roast, birthday party, and funeral. One trip to the Philippines serves as a testament to this. Karaoke spots are as commonplace as Starbucks are in America. There's karaoke in nightclubs, as well as in regular karaoke bars with commercial machines, even live bands to make one feel like a rock star. There's more family-friendly places or karaoke television that have food and private rooms for family gatherings. Even the local dry cleaners and laundromats have machines for customers to use while they wait for their clothes to dry. Well-known Filipino boxer Manny Pacquiao has appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live several times. And when
I'm pretty sure he said that wrong. It's Pacquiao. Pacquiao's an amazing fighter. I didn't know he's Filipino.
He always sings karaoke with the titular host. There's a frequently repeated story in the Philippines that Imelda Marcos, wife of once dictator Ferdinand Marcos, performed karaoke at one of multimillionaire Malcolm Forbes' infamous yacht parties. Yes, Malcolm Forbes is in like Forbes magazine. Andy Warhol was at the party and later wrote in his diary that she sang 12 songs in a row. Which all of those people knowing each other at once gives me a headache. The dictator's wife was on the Forbes yacht and Andy Warhol wrote about it. And it's not just
that's insane to think about.
Bay, a travel writer, journeyed to a remote province of the country, she noted that even these small villages participated. Quote, even though the area was plagued by frequent brownouts, the family living in the bamboo hut had a karaoke machine. My friend's little nephews were obsessed with Michael Jackson songs. A karaoke machine in a bamboo hut.
That's just really cool. I actually really think that's cool that it's a nice way to like socialize, you know, in the Philippines. That's actually just really cool.
I respect the order of priority. And it makes sense that a pastime known for bringing drunken joy and fun to people around the world would be enjoyed to those in the Philippines.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's really cool.
A reputation for being benevolent people with a happy demeanor. There's even a common stereotype that many Filipinos become nurses, and about 4% of all registered nurses in the United States are Filipino. And in coastal states like California, that number's closer to 20%. For most nurses, being nice and patient is a prerequisite. But despite this generality of kindness, obviously people are people. Not everyone from one culture is the exact same. And tragically, the history of the Philippines contains plenty of misfortune. For starters, there's of course the centuries of colonialism, which a brief recap of that is that the Spanish ruled the Philippines for over 300 years, from the 1500s to almost 1900. Following that, the United States occupied the country until World War II, when it was invaded by Japan and decimated by the war. Even the name Philippines stems from King Philip II, who is not of Filipino descent, if you couldn't tell. But more recent and tangible is the fact that for two very hard, very long decades, 1965 to 1986, the Philippines were forced to endure the aforementioned President Ferdinand Marcos, an unrecognized dictator who basically stole all of the money from his people. His wife Imelda was not only known for her yacht karaoke marathons, but for having a collection of 3,000 pairs of shoes.
Bitch, you don't need that much.
And millions of dollars in foreign aid that the country received over a long period of time,
shitty.
A generous amount from the United States. The Marcoses kept the nation impoverished to the point that it was nearly considered a third world country.
For fuck's sake.
Economic suffering leads to unhappy citizens who will find a way to lash out. And although Instagram and travel magazines might show the beautiful, safe, and touristy parts of the country, much of the country is still that way today. Which, if you want to see some of the ways that Marcos came to power and how the country got in such a bad place in the first place, you can check out my video about how the CIA pretended to be vampires to assert dominance over the country. I was not kidding about that either. That is a thing that happened. Watch the video.
I have to check that video.
On top of those struggles,
maybe next week. I have my videos planned out for this week.
Rodrigo Duterte declared a war on drugs where even small crimes were punishable by death. This essentially gave him free range to murder his political enemies. Naturally, this came with a lot of collateral damage. HumanRightsWatch.org estimates that the quote-unquote war led to more than 12,000 Filipino deaths.
Holy shit!
2,555 were by the Philippine National Police. Duterte left office in 2022. So, unfortunately, crime isn't a stranger there. There's long been an undercurrent of violence and discontent in the Philippines, much of it put in place by the government. Karaoke should be a way to escape that discontent.
Honestly, that just makes me think of, God, what is it? Kind of, but not really at the same time. But also in the sense of these two places are both very big, like, tourist destinations, and they always show the beautiful side and all of that. But in reality, the government is fairly corrupt, and like very poverty stricken when it's not around the actual touristy part. Brazil. You always see all the really pretty and touristy sides of Brazil whenever people talk about it. But then I just think of Rio. Like, everyone talks about Rio. They love Rio. But then you just have the fucking slums where police and cartel are constantly duking it out. Like, shit like that. That's just what him talking about this kind of just makes me think about. That whole area right there, the war on drugs.
Bon Jovi is known to be good for the soul, but discontent at that magnitude is sometimes strong enough to corrupt any joy that can be found. Professor and former dean of the University of the Philippines, Roland Tolentino, was interviewed about this very topic in 2010 by the New York Times. He states that, quote, "The Philippines is a very violent society. So karaoke only triggers what already exists here when certain social rules are broken." When you look at Sinatra's would-be swan song through that perspective, it starts to make sense why it can serve as a perfect vehicle for that trigger. Interestingly, despite its extreme global popularity, Frank Sinatra's My Way peaked on the Billboard's top hit list at only 27 and never even cracked the top 10. However, it did spend 75 weeks in the UK's top 40, a feat which still has not been broken by any song before or since. But there were really no musical charts in the Philippines in the 1970s. Billboard Philippines actually didn't launch until 2017, and the Philippine Association of the Record Industry didn't publish any historical records from that period. So word of mouth is the only way to gauge My Way's popularity there. However, Billboard Philippines did compile a list of some of the most popular karaoke songs in the country, which included the likes of Whitney Houston and Aerosmith and, of course, Beyonce. Notably absent, however, is Frank Sinatra. When My Way was released in 1969, a feel-good song about taking blows on the chin but standing tall, it resonated with a lot of Filipino people. Before it was removed from machines and banned from bars, My Way had taken hold of the country. Perhaps singing that song out loud to anyone who would listen expelled some demons, or at least made them feel part of a community. So they sang it a lot. But maybe they sang it too much, and at some point, perhaps a song with those lyrics no longer felt like the right tone, given all that was happening around them. And eventually, that tone translated into the deadly phenomenon we have today. Despite our best guesses and available theories, members of the Philippines law enforcement aren't as quick to draw any one conclusion. They take things
makes sense.
Usually attributing the senseless violence to intoxication and easy access to weapons. Drunken men looking for some trouble, primed to let out some aggression, and finding the perfect excuse to do so. So what do you do if you're the Philippines? Well, in Australia, there's a tradition for any time that someone sings or plays the song Eagle Rock by Daddy Cool. Whether at a bar, a party, or a wedding, the tradition is that all the men, and sometimes women, drop their pants to their ankles and dance. That doesn't really help the whole Frank Sinatra thing in the Philippines.
What the fuck, Australia? Y'all are into some weird shit.
That's just something really weird Australians do, and someone else had to hear about it. So
why?
Like that in the
I didn't need to know that.
Well, anytime someone sings "Sweet Caroline," everyone's obligated to go
bum bum bum,
even though the bum is actually an instrument beat and never said in the song.
I don't care.
From East Tennessee, anytime you hear the song "Rocky Top" after the lyrics "Good old Rocky Top," you have to woo.
I don't know that one.
Respectable ways to have karaoke traditions, not whatever godless shenanigans are happening in Australia. This video isn't about them. I should move on. But traditions take time.
Keep talking
so now
shit.
Establishments in the Philippines are attempting to cancel the song from karaoke consciousness, deleting it from all of the machines and songbooks, and posting this as one of their written rules. My Way is not under any circumstances to be performed here. Once a song of happiness for a downtrodden community, the goal, it would appear, is to just pretend that the song no longer exists, which is kind of sad, having to abandon something you once loved. Ironically, the first original version of the song, written in French by Jacques Revaux, was about a couple once in love falling out of it. Despite what Sinatra's version of the song may say, given all the violence the country has endured, this doesn't seem like the time to face it all and stand tall. The right to drunkenly belt a 60s power ballad for 5 minutes, unfortunately, may not be the hill you want to die on. Literally. That is, of course,
maybe not.
Unless you're Reddit user Ixnay101892. in which case, keep fighting the fight, brother. And that is it for the Sinatra karaoke killings. I think it may just be one of those things where since it was a popular song, and since it's kind of a song about being kicked while you're down and then standing back up, I think it's likely more of a correlation than a causation. People who had fallen on hard times and were in high crime areas.
That's not as interesting to think about.
In public, in high crime areas during hard times. Regardless, it's interesting that it's as widely known as it is and even led to multiple bars just banning the song. So since I found it cool, I wanted to share it with you, and hopefully you think it's cool as well. And we just want to say thank you for watching. We really appreciate
Thank you for making it
here. It's so cool to put a team together to make videos at a quicker rate than what I was doing over on the main channel, and to see you guys show up in droves, it really does mean the world. To profess,
honestly, I'm all for this because this just allows me to. I like the Wendigang. Don't get me wrong, I love Wendigoon, like his main channel, but I really enjoy this one because they're so much shorter and it's not a 6-hour-long video that I have to. Not even have to, because I will sit through like his 8-hour-long videos, but it's like, yeah, now I don't. Now it's something I can actually sit down and watch in one sitting. You know what I mean?
How supportive you guys have been. There's apparently been an issue with YouTube recently, either because YouTube's like getting rid of botted views or messing with like ad blockers on PCs. I can't get a straight answer from anyone who works there, but there's some issue that views are down across the platform.
Yes, it's there's stupid AI algorithm bullshit because it keeps recommending it's whatever AI algorithm, because they're also something's wrong with it because they're just constantly recommending members videos when I'm not a member to a channel. And it's usually members videos from like a year or two ago.
And I didn't realize it for a while because even though my Wendigoon views were down a little bit, I would look at Wendigang and the views were doing just fine. So I thought it was just the main channel dipping in views a bit. But then it turns out everyone's experiencing that, but Wendigang is just doing so well that it countered whatever drop everyone else is receiving.
That's really cool.
So to see you guys showing that level of support is really cool. All the team members certainly appreciate it. Everyone who worked on this video will be credited in the description, so be sure to show them some love. New content here on Wendigoon and Creepcast is on the way, but I believe this should do it for now. But before you go, we just want to say thank you for watching. We hope that you enjoyed.
I did enjoy.
We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
I did it my way. Okay.
Nah, keep going. Well, that was Wendigang, the Sinatra karaoke killings. That was really interesting. Like, didn't really think about that. Like, really interesting. Not at all what I thought it was going to be. But that was still a really good video. Make sure you check it out, the original. Yo, give him some love. Like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, you guys take care of yourselves. See ya.